Hi, welcome back to the pump framework for mind muscle memory. So in this framework for pump, which is our heart, we are going to look at some interval workouts. We're going to look at what the effects are for the number one thing that we're looking at in all of our work that we do, and that is to have a strong heart. Our strong heart means that it has a really good volume. It has good consistency. It's not going to get tired or fatigued. But we've conditioned it and are keeping it and maintaining it at its best state, which is that cardiac muscle can always create good blood flow. Now there are certain pieces to interval training and the pump framework that we want to go through. There's three specific pieces to that. And that is that obviously one will be that we're doing a sustained work with our heart and our aerobic conditioning to get our muscles moving well, to get our heart working to a higher rate. So we want to bring the rate of our heart up so that it can get conditioned to pumping a better volume of blood through the body. And if it already has a good volume of blood that's pumping through the body and that's moving the blood from the heart outward, then the next component is we want to make sure it's oxygenated. We want to make sure it has oxygen on there, and that means we have to work on our respiration. So we're working on the second part is our respiration. How well do we bring that air in fully all the way around, like we've talked about it multiple times in other pieces as well. We got to really focus on the heart is down here in the middle. At the bottom of the lungs is the biggest volume, so the heart has to, right there, it's called the pulmonary trunk. So our lungs have to be exchange that air right there at our heart, and then get that oxygen down into our body and the CO2 out of our body. So we want to work on smooth, strong respiration, not panting, not too fast, but smooth, strong, and consistent, that we're using the full volume of the bottom of each lung as we work the air in and work the air out through the nose and through the mouth. Full and steady. So we can practice that, obviously, not too much when we're just standing still, but when we're doing our workouts. The respiration is vital, okay? So that also does what? It conditions the rib cage. It conditions all the muscles that are in our rib cage and our diaphragm, which is right there in the core movement center for our kinetics. So now we have getting our muscles moving well enough that our heart rate has to pump faster and create good volume and keep maintaining good volume throughout our life. Or we're working on the respiration too, so that we have the oxygen getting down into the body and up into the body to our head as well, and of course in exchanging that in those working areas, and then getting rid of the CO2 out of the breath and at the pulmonary trunk. The third piece to our pump framework is the circulation itself. Okay, so we have our arteries that are bringing that blood out to those muscles. And then we have our veins that are bringing the blood on the outside back to the pulmonary trunk here again, and to the heart and to the lungs, so they can be exchanged again. So the arteries are in there in our main soft areas, the armpit, the groin, inside the aorta, the carotid arteries down into the legs, and it's going and getting pumped with a good volume down into the body. Now it goes into those areas and then has to go through, obviously, the muscles, through the areas, through the brain, and then it has to come back in the veins. So one of the main parts is, as we keep really good circulation and we improve our circulation, we're creating this nice flow of fluids through our body. Okay, it's so important to keep our circulation good and the fluids moving down in those arteries, through those areas, and back out to the outsides and back to the pulmonary trunk. So the pump framework is to work on interval workouts where we bring the higher elevation of heart rate up, or that we get the respiration going, we get the circulation going, then we recover back down. Do it again. Up, bring our heart rate up, bring our breathing up, bring it back down. Now, as we do this, we want to make sure we understand that we don't have to do it for huge amounts of time, but basically most sports are done in this way, right? We do intervals of sports, running or participating in something, and it's intervals of going harder, slower, faster, slower, faster, slower. So this is going to use your energy levels really well. Also remember, as this is education based, it's all about educating you and to get you to understand all the different parts that are necessary to have a nice, strong metabolism. That if you are on any medications that suppress your heart rate, you're really just going to be going off of your breath, your breathing rate. So if you can breathe smooth and steady and consistently strong, then you're in a good spot. If you're going to where you're labored breathing and you're panting, that's not where you want to be. You want to come out of that and be able to regain that breath, because we don't want to burn ourselves out. We want to condition ourselves so that we can be capable of doing all the things that we want at any time in our life. So this is the pump framework, interval training, recovery heart rate. And as you build, as you see the things that we go through, as you get a better and better recovery heart rate, you're getting into better and better shape. That means you're getting great volume, you're getting excellent exchange, and you're getting excellent circulation. So your heart rate comes down faster every time you go harder, comes down faster. And if you get deconditioned, your heart rate sort of stays elevated, and that's not good. We want to be able to have the heart rate recover in between those harder bouts of exercise and workouts or sports. So look forward to seeing you on the next framework. Have any questions, of course, please send them in to us, and look forward to sharing more education and frameworks on the next section. Thank you so much.